Hey y'all, it's Jade and welcome back to another video on my channel. So in today's video, as you guys can probably tell by the title above, we are going to be doing a should you go to Lee University. So if you guys are new to my channel, hey, my name is Jade. I'm going to be a senior in college at Lee University this upcoming fall. So I've definitely lived some time here at Lee and have lots of things to share. This video is going to be a pro-con format, kind of going through the pros that I see in Lee and also the cons that I can objectively see in Lee and I feel like are important to share with you guys. If you guys are thinking about going to Lee, or you go to Lee, or like you've already committed to going to Lee or something like that, let me know in the comment section down below. Or if you have any other questions about Lee University that aren't answered in this video, make sure to leave those in the comment section down below as well. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe down below for more college related content, more Lee related content. Also make sure to go over and follow me on Instagram and not Snapchat, ew. Also make sure to go over and follow me on Instagram and TikTok. It's just at Jade Benward, same way you see it here. That is where I share more of my day-to-day content on my college experience. I think that's gonna be it for this intro, so let's hop right on in to the video. So a little background to start us off on my Lee experience. I am 21 years old. I am originally from Nashville, Tennessee, and I chose to go to Lee University 3 years ago when I was a senior in high school, deciding where to go for my freshman year of college. I actually had a little bit crazier of an experience where I had chosen one college and then changed literally 6 days before move-in to go to Lee, and that is a story in itself, so if you want to hear that story, we can make another video about it. But I've really had an incredible experience so far. So I'm excited to share with you guys a little bit more about Lee University and just be real with you, because there are cons, there are things I don't like about this school that I wish that I could change, and it's just important to know those things, I feel like, when you're trying to make a college decision. As far as my major, I'm a nursing major here at Lee. I could definitely make a whole pro-con video about the nursing department and nursing school here at Lee in general. But I'm gonna keep this video pretty general for anyone coming in with any major going to Lee, but just for reference point, I'm a nursing major. So let's hop right on in to the pros. I think I'm gonna go through all the pros and then go through all the cons. I feel like that makes the most sense. The first pro, and the thing that I just automatically put on the top of this list, is that Lee University, at least for me, has had an amazing community. I really feel like every single person you meet, obviously not every single person, but like most people that you meet on campus truly are just so good, so genuine, so intentional, and such wonderful people. Lee cultivates a place that just kind of draws in really excellent people, and so for me, I have found some of the best friends of my entire life on this campus, and like making friends and finding good community has come really easy. Lee itself is just such a good place, and I've had such a good experience community wise here. If you're willing to fight for it, willing to seek it out, you will find amazing community here. My second one, kind of going along with what I just said, is that there's lots of opportunity for involvement on campus. Lee has literally a million clubs. I know that you will find something that has your interest, but even if you don't have something that has your particular hobby, they are super good about starting new clubs. So if you want to start a new club, it's really easy to do. They have Greek life, we have choirs, we have traveling theater groups, we have everything. We have intramural sports that are really popular, and like the whole campus comes out to watch the games every night. It really, I feel like, is something for everyone, and I know that I found majority of my community here at Lee through my campus involvements. Next is the faculty at Lee. I feel like the faculty at Lee is so excellent. Not only are they professional and intelligent and very successful people in their fields, they also genuinely care about their students. We start every single class with either a devotional or a prayer or whatever the teacher wants to do, and I really feel like that just puts such a good mindset on like why you are where you are. Because obviously we're pursuing the professions that we want, and we're pursuing the majors that we are because it's been a call from the Lord on our hearts. And so what better way to start out a class, what better way to start out our discipline every single day than by giving it to the Lord and offering it to the Lord. I've had really amazing experiences with the professors, and although sometimes it can be a little bit intimidating, anytime I have sought help from a professor, they have always been genuinely so helpful and caring and have made my academic experience so much easier. And I feel like it's been really easy to develop a personal relationship with faculty here at Lee, whether or not it's your professor or even just other administrative faculty that you work with or whatever. I just feel like I have really good relationships with people here. Next thing kind of goes along with the first one that I said, but it's a very lively campus. Lee has a ton of on-campus events. Literally, there is always something to do. It feels like every night of the week. And like every weekend you're on campus, there will be something to do on campus. So if you're coming from far away, or if you don't have a car so you can't, you know, leave campus very often, I promise you'll have plenty of things to do here. A lot of these events can be sponsored by different clubs or choirs or churches or even things like that on campus, but a lot of them genuinely are just Lee put on events. and they're really fun. I actually go to a lot of them. Next is that Lee genuinely is a very authentic and intentional Christian experience. If you're watching this video, you probably know, but Lee University is a Christian school. We are affiliated with the Church of God, but honestly, I'm not Church of God. Most people that I know here aren't Church of God. So whatever denomination you're coming in with, you will probably feel really comfortable here. But even beyond that, I feel like Christian schools have gotten a bad rap, and I do know that there are a lot of Christian schools that aren't really the most authentic Christian experience, or are like kind of so heavy just on like rules and regulations and things like that it kind of just impedes a normal college experience. But I just feel like Lee has been this perfect balance of truly a Christ-centered experience where you can see God working everywhere, but also a place that still allows you to be individual and have interests and do things and like, and not just kind of be tied down to what one way of thinking tells you you're supposed to be. I don't know if that makes sense, but as far as for my college experience, I feel like I've grown spiritually here genuinely so much, like more than in any other season of my entire life. And a lot of that has been due to what Lee chooses to cultivate here. It's really such a great experience. You'll find amazing mentors, amazing friends, small groups, clubs to be a part of, even just churches in the area that are really excellent. Next, this isn't necessarily a pro for everybody, but it definitely is for me. Lee is situated in Cleveland, Tennessee, if you guys didn't know, which is right at the base of the Smoky Mountains, and you have literally any outdoorsy thing you could possibly imagine. We're like 20 minutes away, maybe even less than that, from the Ocoee River, which is one of the biggest whitewater rivers in this area. We have class 5 whitewater, so if you like whitewater rafting, you could do that any day of the week. There's a million hikes, amazing places to just go watch the sunset casually from the top of a mountain. Camping, hiking, mountain biking, there's lakes, literally everything you could possibly want to do outdoors. This is like a big hub for that. Lee in general kind of has a very like outdoorsy granola vibe to her sometimes, and so it's just a really fun place that you'll not only, you know, find all of the stuff you want to do outdoors, but also people to do it with. Next is that Lee is kind of this perfect, not too small school. Like obviously Lee is a small school. If you want to if you compare it to a public like in-state SEC school, it is not anywhere close to the size of that. But something that really drew me to Lee is that like I was drawn to the small school experience. I thought it would be kind of fun, but also I was really intimidated by a small school experience. I went to a really big high school, so like there are colleges that are like smaller than my high school, and that was like a no-go for me. But Lee really has a good amount of students to where you definitely are always meeting new people. You don't know every single person on campus. There's always a million different groups to get involved in. But at the same time, you get all the benefits of a small school, like kind of having a close-knit community and other resources and things. Next is that we have a ton of on-campus job opportunities. Really, honestly, whatever you are interested in, whether it be like with your major or even if you're just interested in the freshman experience or interested in chapel or interested in whatever, there's like a job that you can do with that area of campus. I really feel like most every single person that I know, if not works currently on campus but has had a campus job in the past. I'm not currently working on campus, but I have worked 2 different on-campus jobs and loved both of them. And on-campus jobs are just really nice ways to have a little bit of income coming in that works super well with a college student schedule. Next is that the freshman experience here at Lee is truly amazing. They do such a good job of welcoming freshmen in, making them feel like a part of the campus, setting up a ton of events and opportunities to get involved with campus. And I also highly recommend getting involved in those things, get involved with your dorms, get involved with those events, because that's where I met majority of my friends. And just overall, I love the freshman experience. I have worked with the Office of First Year Programs and been a peer leader, which is kind of like working with like new student orientation and then like the gateway classes for freshman year. So I might be a little biased, but I love the freshman experience here at Lee. And then lastly, Cleveland, Tennessee is a really, really safe city. I have lived on campus and now off campus and have felt safe in both environments, and that is just such a privilege. Now we are going to be getting into some of my cons of Lee University. So like I said, and like you guys can probably pick up from this video, I really have had an exceptional experience at Lee, and I'm so thankful for that. But I also am not blind to the fact that Lee certainly has flaws, certainly has things that would be deal breakers for people who are choosing whether or not to come here. And I also have known people that have had a harder experience here. Like I said, I've been really fortunate, but that doesn't mean that everyone's Lee experience is the same. So anyways, I thought that a list of cons would be important if you were deciding if you should go to Lee. Number 1, and I like immediately put this on this list when I like wrote out cons, I have my notes down here, the cafeteria food. I will say, they really gas it up for like preview days and like college tour days or whatever. It is not normally like that. The caf has really struggled, and I feel like every semester it gets a little bit worse. But honestly, I feel like most colleges are probably like that, and I don't necessarily, for me, obviously, it's not a deal breaker of Lee University. But definitely a good thing to know. The caf is just rough. We do have some alternate dining options on campus, but honestly, we don't have that many, and it is pretty easy to get sick of them. But overall, obviously, you can cook on your own. The food is edible. It's not like awful, but it's definitely not top of the line. Next, and this one, honestly, I have been really fortunate not to have been affected by, because they don't change your scholarships obviously once you already come here. But from talking to kind of younger classes below me and people who are applying to Lee right now, they have been significantly decreasing their scholarships. Lee, honestly, like one of the main reasons that my sister came here and then also I came here is because of how excellent their scholarships were. It truly is like the most affordable private Christian experience you can find. And I still feel like, you know, tuition wise, it really is honestly very competitive. Like if you compare it to other Christian private schools, this place is a lot more affordable. But I have been really disappointed to see that, you know, budget cuts have had to happen because of COVID, and, you know, one place that they've chosen to decrease the budget has been scholarships. Now, obviously there's always outside scholarships to apply for, and Lee does have a ton of scholarships, so you can apply for multiple and they stack on top of each other. But just in general, their basic like merit academic scholarship has really decreased. Because it used to be where if you had a certain ACT or a certain GPA or whatever, you would get a certain amount of money. And so those merit-based scholarships have really significantly decreased. It's something to look into to see what you would qualify for and see what other outside scholarships you could apply for to stack on to come here. But I did just want to put that in this video. If you guys hadn't looked at Lee's scholarship packages, that they have changed a lot in the last few years. And so just keep up to date with how much money you're going to get, because it might be different than you think. Next is that there's not much spirit for like our school sports teams. I feel like there's a ton of school spirit for like the Greek club that you're in, or the choir that you're in, or whatever, or Red's Life, what dorm you're in. I feel like there's lots of school spirit for that, but like in general, the Lee school spirit I feel like isn't very strong. And honestly, maybe it's just my friend groups, but I really don't feel like it is. People just don't go to Lee sporting events. I've been to a couple Lee basketball games and they're fun, but like there's not really a student section, and as far as all the other sports, people just don't go to their games. So if you're wanting a big sports school out of your college, honestly, Lee probably is not the place for you. But I will say that our intramurals are so hype and are so fun, and everybody comes out every night to watch like intramural softball, intramural football, all sorts of stuff like that. And hopefully we can improve this school sports spirit thing soon. Next is that Lee is really not situated super close to any big city. Lee's in Cleveland, Tennessee, like I said, which is a really beautiful outdoors hub, like nice little small town feel, which is super fun, and definitely I love it. But I really did think that Cleveland was gonna be closer to Chattanooga than it is. It is a solid 45-minute drive to Chattanooga, which isn't super ideal. As a nursing major, and because of clinicals, I have to drive to Chattanooga 2 to 3 times a week, most weeks for clinical, which isn't super fun. So if you're wanting a big city feel, Cleveland just really doesn't give you that. I will say though, on the positive side, where Cleveland is located, we are 45 minutes to Chattanooga, about an hour and 15 to Knoxville, and about an hour and a half to Atlanta. So we're kind of situated in between 3 bigger cities that you can get to definitely really easily for like a day trip, but there's not one like in your backyard type of thing. And then my last con for you guys is the on-campus housing options. Obviously, when you come in as a freshman, you're gonna be in a dorm, and our dorms are decent. I don't think they're like anything mind-blowing. They're not huge. They're not like super extravagant. They're pretty basic dorms. They also are a little on the older side. I do know that they're renovating a lot of them now, and since it's been like a couple of years since I've been a freshman, I don't really know what they look like now. Also, I will say that I lived in like the dead worst dorm because I like changed 6 days before moving to come here. But if you get in one of the nicer ones, they're actually really nice. And the other kind of downside also that goes into our on-campus housing situation is the fact that we are required to live on campus for 2 years. which really isn't that big a deal in like the grand scheme of it. Obviously now I'm on the other side of that and I'm living off campus, so like it doesn't feel like 2 years is that long. But I do know that like when I was a sophomore and living on campus, I was ready to get off. We do have on-campus apartments and on-campus townhomes that are pretty nice. They're still shared rooms, but obviously you have a really big kitchen, really big living room, different stuff like that, just more entertaining space. But those are very hard to come by if you're not an upperclassman. Honestly, most of my friends that are sophomores this year did not get placed in apartments. I did fortunately get placed in an apartment my sophomore year, but it's because I was so ahead like credit hour wise. So a lot of times you'll be stuck in a dorm for 2 years. Again, it's not the end of the world. Honestly, I think there's a really big benefit to that. I think that the dorm experience is really where you have so much community, and honestly, dorm experience is like once in a lifetime, and I miss it a lot, honestly, when I think about it, just because of how much fun I had in the dorms. But that definitely can be a big downside for a lot of people. Now, like I said, I have literally so much more I could say about Lee, especially about Lee's Greek life system, because I'm involved with that, and also Lee's nursing school and things like that. But this is kind of just my basic pro-con breakdown for you guys about my Lee experience that hopefully will help you answer if you should go to Lee or not. Alright guys, I think that's going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up, as well as let me know in the comment section down below if you're thinking about coming to Lee, any questions you have, if you already are planning on coming to Lee in the fall, because that is so exciting. Again, I've had the best experience here. I could not speak more highly of Lee, but obviously wanted to keep it realistic and give you guys some cons. But I just get so excited every time I see a comment or an Instagram DM from one of you guys coming here, because again, I just love it so much. Make sure to also follow me on all my other social medias, Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. I feel like I share a ton of my Lee and college experience on those platforms as well. I think that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys. Missing someone.